Okay. Are you ready? Second up tonight is senior Haley Hunt. She loves Target trips, coffee, and she has gotten a little bit better at driving since January. Tonight she offers us a reflection with 1,387 days.
We all have a timer with 1,387 days on it. Your clock starts counting down as soon as you walk through the doors of the high school. 4 years ago, my timer started when I walked into school. Starting high school was terrifying. I had no idea what life had in store for me after my timer ended. My timer now has 6 days left. 6 days until my life starts, 6 days until I can walk across the stage and say, "Mom, Dad, I did it." The time you're given is precious, and you do not realize it until it's sounding its final alarm and you can never go back. My freshman and sophomore years were as normal as boring as they can get. Friends came in and out of my life. Mostly, I just wanted to get out of high school. I walked the halls waiting for my timer to reach the very last second until I could leave. I felt like I did not have a future and it terrified me. I wanted to be a senior so bad so I could just jump ahead and start my life. I wanted to grow up. But then my junior year started and things started to turn around for the better. I found a new goal to reach for, a career in medicine. To say that the last 694 days of my timer were not normal is the understatement of the century. Everything started off great. I had great friends. I was working as hard as I could to do everything I set my mind to, but halfway through, one of the best years I've ever had was a day I can never forget, March 13th, 2020. We were told we'd be back after spring break, but spring break turned into after summer break. I was heartbroken. For once in my life, I missed school, I missed my classmates, I missed my teachers, and I missed my BOCES class. The last 347 days of my timer were still not normal. We only go to school 2 days out of the week, and we still do the same amount of work. We did not get anything normal seniors get. This has probably been one of the most stressful years of my life, and on top of it, we are still living through a pandemic, which makes everything much harder. Through all of the uncertainty this year has brought us, I have made some amazing memories that I will never forget. If someone were to tell me that instead of going to prom, I'd be dancing in a parking lot at midnight with one of my best friends, I would have thought you were crazy. The amount of late night Target runs, Starbucks trips, and late night drives I've had with my friends this year has made everything so much easier to manage because I know through all the times I have people in my life that make something possible out of an impossible situation. Now that the last day of school is approaching, I realize I got my wish, to grow up. But I now wish I would have listened to my parents when they told me to stop growing up. At some point in our lives, we stopped leaving cookies and milk out for Santa. The Tooth Fairy has no reason to come anymore because we've lost all of our teeth. The Easter Bunny doesn't come anymore because we're too old for that stuff. Soon new 1,387-day timers will be given to the incoming freshmen. When you're handed that timer is one of the most exciting but terrifying gifts you'll ever receive. My advice is to take in every moment you can. When your timer is over, you can't ever go back. Put effort into your school, but don't stress when you don't get that 100 on a test. High school passes you by so fast, so make as much of a time as a teenager as you can. My timer may be set to sound its final alarm, but I'm confident that a new clock will set me on a future path. Thank you.
Okay, now we come to Maggie Butler. Maggie is also a senior. She likes sunsets, music, and the beach. Tonight, she is thanking her parent.
Mom and Dad, I want to thank you for everything you have done to make me the person I am today. You have supported, inspired, and strengthened me throughout my life. Furthermore, you have taught me how to be independent. As I begin the next chapter in my life, the skills and lessons I have learned from you will help me be successful. You have taught me to work hard to be rewarded. For example, throughout high school, I have had many late nights doing homework and studying for tests because I knew receiving a good grade would not only make myself happy, but also you. I love the feeling I get when you are proud of me. To add to this, you have taught me how to do household chores, like how to make a bed, do laundry, clean the bathroom, or do dishes. These are important skills everyone needs to know. You have influenced my life in a tremendously positive way. I want to thank my dad for teaching me how to ride a bike, touching the worms and fish on our countless fishing trips to the lake, killing spiders in my room, and planning spontaneous road trips with me. I want to thank my mom for basically making me a mini version of her, paying for 14 years of gymnastics class, teaching me how to drive, and always making me laugh. From our endless inside jokes to our deep conversations at night, our bond is unbreakable. I'm beyond grateful to call you my parents. The love I have for both of you is impossible to describe. When I was little, every night before bed, we used to say, "I love you to the moon and back." However, as I reflect on that now, I think I love you more than that. I hope to be as good of a parent to my children someday as you have been to me. I've had the best experiences growing up. One of my favorite memories was our cross-country trip in 2015. Not many kids get to experience something like that. When I attend Endicott College this fall, I will miss you so much. When I started high school, I was told the next 4 years will fly. At first, I didn't believe this was true, but here I am, concluding my senior year. I look forward to what the future holds. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for raising a strong, independent young lady.
Our fourth speaker tonight is Liv Ritz. Liv is a creative jack of all trades and recently received her seal of biliteracy. She plans to be an entrepreneur, and tonight she has written a letter to herself. Here she presents her.
The green light is on.
You guys, this is fun.
To a girl, 17 years of love and loss, thrill and dissent. Every memory and every setback made her who she is, and nothing will change that. People are constantly urging others to change, but when those people change for themselves, that is the move that truly matters. She can, without a doubt, stand for change for her and no one else. She changed because it was what her soul needed and her mind ached for. A new pace and a fresh face. Now, she is many things painted into a beautiful disaster, as all remarkable art is. She is not afraid to wear her heart on her sleeve and stand up for what she believes in and what she thinks is right. She has been bruised, but she is not damaged. She works hard until the last sentence, equation, buzzer, or final point, because when you're committed, you do not quit. She reads about love because she likes the light feeling it gives her heart when it is not always there in reality. She hates being told what to do, mostly because she demands to be given full respect. She cooks because the rhythm of it is free therapy. She is first on the sidelines because at one point a coach instilled in her that winners are like puppies who are always ready, and she plays to win. She believes in the good in people, even though she has been given ample reason not to. She washes her face every morning, more for her mind than her skin, to wash away the dirt left inside, not out. She's always had friends, but never knew they could be like the two she found this year. She cherishes their love yous and drive safes because it is genuine, unlike so many she has heard before. She cannot hear an apology the same because her past deemed it a useless phrase. She loves harder, even if she's not loved back. She loves putting gifts and choosing things to make others happy. She likes to find songs where the lyrics match up to her life because it shows that everyone shares the same struggle. She wears cloth headbands to remind her of her makeshift sister and one of the decades that she belongs in. She calls her parents every day because she grew up doing so and now it's a habit. She rewatches the same shows because it makes her happy, knowing the characters and counting on her favorite episodes for comfort. She has firm morals, solely created from her own life, not anything that was instilled in her. She has weakness, but some of the strongest skin to cut through. She wears gold because the feeling reminds her of summer highlights and deep freckles, which cannot be described as anything but golden. She paints her nails red because it makes her confident and lion-hearted. She puts a lot of strain on her brain, and everything must have its own place. She adores art because it is her own, and it embodies her inner geek for symbolism. She gets told she looks intimidating, but she is kind. She has a million little things that make up a masterpiece. She will never live these years again, but she is ready to move on. She is grateful, thankful, and appreciative. Never forget who she is and how she got here, because in her short years she has learned a lot. Probably a lot more than she should have. She is a force to be reckoned with, and use her wisely to become an even stronger woman and lead the world someday. My love always, her. Thank you.
All right, fifth tonight we have Tristan Davis. Tristan is also a senior. Measuring in at 5'1"3/4, she swears she is not the shortest member of class. Liv, Celeste, Maggie. She deserves an award tonight for being the only, oh, I forgot we wrote this, where's David? For being the only other student in class with David Gauss. Tonight she shares looking back, looking ahead.
That's how long I have until I move almost 1,600 miles away from this town, this school, and my most cherished memories. This speech, however, is not going to be negative. I'm not nervous to move basically across the country for probably the rest of my life. It's an opportunity to reach my goals, to go to college, and not live in fear of change. College is supposed to be the best 4 years of my life, and even if it's not, I still worked up the courage to leave my town and try something new. Now I know I'm not the first person to move away like this, and I know I won't be the last. But a couple months ago, I would cry at the thought of leaving. I faced that fear and turned it into something to look forward to. Unfortunately, as some of you may know, I lost one of my dogs back in February, and it crushed my family. I thought to myself how hard that change was, and so I didn't think I could leave everything else too. But I took that as an opportunity to realize how important change is. High school is not supposed to be the time you figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. It is not the time to create bonds that are supposed to last forever. Although some people do, it is not an expectation and it never will be. Everyone wants us to grow up, to know what we want to do, to feel confident in ourselves that we're making all the right choices. But not even college will 100% do that for you. So how about we look at the last 4 years? It has been rocky, if I'm being honest. I've made so many different friends, and I don't even talk to any of them anymore. But that's what life does. It brings people into your life, and then takes them out when the time is right. The world, as people say, is your oyster, whatever that means. High school was definitely the best years of my life so far. From bonfires to the drive-ins to hanging out in my friend's garage. I'll never forget the lessons Watertown has taught me. Thank you.
Now we come to senior Annalie Landfield. Annalie loves to spend time with her sister and her friends. Shout out to Maria Netto. She plans to major in biology at the University of Rochester in the fall. And this evening she is reciting and reflecting on a beloved Robert Frost poem.
Two roads diverged in yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent into undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps a better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. As Robert Frost so artfully writes, don't be afraid to make your own path in life, your own successes and your own mistakes. Not only will you grow, but you will become the person you are always meant to be. Here tonight, many of us are seniors and have reached the end of a journey and the beginning of a new adventure, a crossroads, if you will. Before us lay many paths unique to each person. Some paths are winding, some are uphill, and some you cannot quite see the end of yet. However, the one thing in common with them all is that they are our paths. Most of us will step foot on these paths next fall as we begin college or work. At times, we may run into forks, obstacles, or choices to be made along the way. When faced with these choices, we must remember our roots, where our journey began at Watertown High School, our values and beliefs, and our goals. We must not fear the unbeaten trail as we try to find our way in the world, for we each will choose a path that is right for us. Thank you.
Hanley is our next speaker. He is a junior and plans on a career in communications. Alex is thanking family and peers tonight.
Yeah, took me a second. How many times do we hear the words, thank you? I'm sure plenty of you can say you hear it all the time, whether it be holding a door open, offering a gift, or giving someone a compliment. But tell me this, do you ever think it's genuine? Do you ever think that the words are a conscious decision, or maybe just a conditional phrase used to fill an empty space? To me, this devalues the word. And while it still expresses gratitude for an action, it wouldn't justify all the kind things my friends, family, and loved ones have done for me. I couldn't say thank you enough to them, but there's no use in not trying. So here we go. I want to start off by thanking my mother. If it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't even be who I am. When I was younger, I was very hyperactive. And my behavior was so impulsive to the point where my teachers tried putting me in medication. My mom did her absolute best to fight this, and it worked. If it weren't for her, I'd probably be soulless, a drifter. She's always tried to have my back, and I couldn't thank her enough for never leaving me behind. I want to thank my dad for showing proper discipline and keeping his cool in stressful situations. As an inside part, I can certainly say growing up I was hard to deal with. Throughout it all, he taught me the rights and wrongs, showed me the ropes by introducing me to new ideas I know nothing about. He was always really good at offering alternative perspectives to situations, which helped me evaluate choices and the best course of action. I want to thank my two brothers for always entertaining me, both of which are twins who are much older than me, and despite it all, they still try to make time. Since they've started forming lives for themselves, I obviously haven't been able to see them much, but despite it all, they've always been there when no one else could have been. Next, I want to thank my friends. Discussion had always been fun with them, and it's never felt stale. Games, movie, TV, playing outside, all of it. While I absolutely lost a couple along the way, I can certainly say that they have impacted my life for the better. And lastly, I want to thank all of you. Thank you for making time to show up. Thank you for making time to listen to all of these cool stories from all of these people. Thank you for understanding tough situations and making the best of it. Thank you.
Eighth, we have seniors. Celeste enjoys couples yoga with Mrs. Chatterton. Can make a mean friendship bracelet. I'm wearing one right now. And has already, in her 18 young years of life, received 50 marriage proposals. She can tell you the story later. She has for us tonight the 10 most important high school lessons.
All throughout life, we heard that our 4 years of high school would be the best and most important. But as we all know, those years are only as great as you make them to be. Every person had their struggles and times of success, but we all had one thing in common: the memories. Making friends, attending sporting events, dances, and other gatherings with our peers. For my classmates and I, those memories became even more important when our junior year came to an abrupt halt due to the coronavirus. We came to the realization that our time in high school deserved much more appreciation than we gave it. Tonight, I'm going to reflect on 10 things from high school that have been the most helpful and important in shaping me into the person I am today. Number 1, it is not about popularity. You want your friends to be the most real, supportive, loving, and caring people. Over the years, you will realize that it is more about the quality than the quantity. I've been able to sort through and keep the most real people by my side for the past 4 years, and hopefully many more to come. 2, don't be afraid to try new things. High school is the time to experiment before you step out into the real world. So trying all of the sports, clubs, and activities, even if you aren't good at them, will point you towards the right path that you should follow. Reflecting back on the past 4 years, I wish I would have taken advantage of more of the activities I had offered. However, the things I did participate in taught me several valuable life lessons and gave me friendships that I will remember forever. 3, communication is very important no matter what. Nobody can read your mind to tell what is wrong or what you need help with, so reaching out and sharing your problems is key. 4, along with communication comes a supportive and trustworthy network of people. Having those few staff members, classmates, and family by your side makes everything so much better. A special shout out to Miss Kinney for always listening to my complaints at 7 a.m. each day, the countless tutor sessions for the trig subjects that I never understood, and all the valuable life lessons you shared with me. And also my best friend Nicole Being almost 1,000 miles away, yet you still answered every FaceTime call, no matter what the time was, to hear me complain about my day, how much the people at school annoyed me, or how much homework I had that I didn't want to do. 5. Challenge yourself to do and be the best you can be. Whenever the opportunity is available, take those harder classes. I always told myself that for senior year, I would take the minimum required classes and fill my schedule with study halls so I didn't have anything to do. Instead, I chose to continue with my core classes and 2 semesters of public speaking with Ms. Capita. This class was definitely the most challenging skill-wise, but it provided me with many memories, valuable skills, and lessons that will help me in the future. 6. From preschool up until this very day, I have learned that listening is very important in every scenario. And when you fail to do this, you miss out on valuable information. Now, I want everyone to think back to those kindergarten days when the teacher would say something 10 times and still have kids not listening. Well, I was that kid every single time. After much training, I now know how to sit through my entire class period and only hear the due dates for my assignments. So here it is one more time, Tuesday at 11:59. 7. Keep a balance between school life and social life. It is important to be able to take a break from homework and studying to go hang out with your friends. Yes, good grades are important, but so are the bonds you form with those around you. Throughout the years, there may have been times where I should have done more studying than hanging out with my friends, but oh well, it's too late now. 8. Just go with the flow. Don't try to take control over everything, because nobody has a perfect life or career, so yours won't be perfect either. School has caused much stress and struggles, but it is all part of the process. I'm sure we all wish at times that we could change everything to be exactly how we want. However, that is not possible, and without the obstacles and imperfections we have faced, we would not be ready for the real world. 9. Forget the drama. Well, we don't always ask for it, somehow we end up involved. I know for many of us, it was always exciting to hear about the new drama and who's going to fight who during our lunch period. One of the major things that I learned from high school is that it is never too early for girls to be punching each other and screaming in the middle of the hallways. 10. Lastly, and most importantly, have fun. Be yourself and do what you want, because time is temporary. These 4 years have flown by, and not gonna lie, I remember more of the fun things I did than the things that my teachers taught me. Sorry, not sorry. When I look back in 10 years, I'll most likely remember the fights over the flags during the pep rallies, rather than a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and everything else that Miss Beasy taught me. While I wish my time in high school was not coming to such a rapid closure, I'm ready to see what the future holds for my peers and I. I will take what I've learned and put it to good use. I would like to thank my classmates, teachers, and family for the endless support and effort to make all of these years so memorable. You will all hold a special place in my heart when I think back on my time spent in the Watertown City School District. Thank you.
Hello again. Nick is feeling quite well now, and he would like to finish his speech because he has not finished. So we're going to have him sit right there at the table and do it sitting, just in case the heat and the nerves come. But they won't. Awesome, Nick. Thank you.
Dear Mom, I really hope I thank you for the little things like making me smile and laugh. Those are memories I'll have forever. If I forgot to express my gratitude for all those things, I'm thinking of you now and want to express my love for you. I'm hoping you know all along that you are very special to me. I was your first baby for you to tuck in the bed, read bedtime stories to stay up late at night and eat food and laugh together just for me to fall asleep 10 minutes later without giving you a big hug before I passed out. I always knew your arms would always be there when I needed you, and your heart was there when I needed another friend. Your gentle eyes were stern when I needed a life lesson. All of that contributed to me getting my dull wings and flying out into the real world, whether I'm ready or you're ready. I can't even imagine the sacrifice you took for you to be a mother, a worker, and an awesome cook. Working hard, making sacrifices to keep me happy on all the trips to the zoo, to the park, the fair, and down to the expensive toys you bought me. There is no one to thank but you. All the Walmart trips, just talking while I push the cart for you are enough memories to last a lifetime. My mother is like no other. She gave me life, nurtured me, taught me, dressed me, and fought for me, held me and loved me, but most importantly, she loved me and everybody around her unconditionally. There are not enough words that I can say to thank you, so I hope your portion of my speech was enough to fill your heart like you do mine. I hope you know how important you are to me and what a powerful influencer you continue to be every day. I love you, Mom.
Mr. Shanley, he's still going.
Dear Nana, my Nana is a remarkable woman. She is a wonderful combination of warmth, kindness, laughter, and love. She overlooks our faults and our dreams and praises every single one of them. My grandmother is the definition of a true friend and a second mother. She did everything and beyond that. She is someone I always look up to and admire for everything she has been through. I respect you and love you very much. For all the times you gently picked me up when I fell down, or for all the times you tied my shoes, tucked me into bed, or if I never needed anything, you put me first, and I'm so thankful for that. For every memory we shared, the dreams, the laughter, and the tears, I love you with all my heart. You raised one amazing mom, two special aunts, and one uncle for me to make more memories with, and I can't thank you enough. For all the sugar cookies we made, to the laughter in the kitchen, to all the puzzles we made staying up and eating cheese and crackers, I thank you for all those memories that will stay in my heart to the very end. Follow your own road to happiness. Don't pay attention to what others say. To you, but stay honest to yourself and to speak with love. Those are the most important quote you use every day is live, laugh, and love. Those three words are exactly what you do every day. You make me laugh, you love me, and you live your life not only for yourself, but for me. Thank you for always listening to me when I was down, supporting me, and encouraging me. You are my only true friend that I'll always have. I was your first grandbaby. Thank you for being my first playmate, my first friend, and my first guardian. Those midnight swings, those boundaries of excitement in me, which would not let me go to bed. Thanks for being with me for these 16 long years of my life. This speech is just to let you know how thankful I am for you. I love you more than the stars in the sky and more than the trees in the forest. You mean the world to me. I wish I could do more to thank you because I wish you knew the half of what you mean to me and every very special role you played in my life. I look back on my childhood and think every star in the sky is love for everything you gave me, but mostly for your love. Your love and your kind words have shaped me in every way possible. Thank you once again, and I love you very much. I also want to thank my Aunt Shisha. I love you so much and to see you grow is so awesome. I wish nothing but the best for you. I'm so proud of you for graduating your 4th year of college. You are my inspiration to try harder and overcome anything that I think is impossible. Only an aunt like you can give hugs like a mother, keep a secret like a sister, and share your love for me like a friend. I love you. It has been a privilege to be around you. I've grown up admiring you and your strength. Thank you for being an awesome aunt and an awesome cook. All the times I slept in your room, which was like half my life, we used to watch scary movies, eat food, and just hang out. Those are memories no one could ever recreate better than you did. People like you are the people that add colors to the flowers with your extraordinary smiles or awesome laugh. I'm so thankful for having you in my life. I love you forever and always, and to moving back. Thank you. Sophia Vos is next. Sophia, or Soph, plans to pursue a career in midwifery. Right? That's right. Okay. She loves dogs, and everyone agrees that she is the sweetest. Tonight, she is thanking her grandmother.
Asked me to thank someone in my life, deciding on just one person was a lot to ask. The list of people who deserve a thank you in my life could go on, but I don't want to bore you. So after thinking about it real hard, I decided that there's one specific person who I want to dedicate this thank you to. I was lucky enough to not only have her as a grandma, but also as a best friend. Even though she can't be here with us, I know she's up there listening, proud of who I have become. Dear Maddie, thank you for helping me who I have become today. Without you, I wouldn't know how to sew a quilt, bake a fancy dessert, or make your famous Chex Mix. I can now bake on my own thanks to you, although I'm still not 100% trusted in the kitchen, but definitely more than before. The time spent with you was always filled with fun and of course a little life lesson here and there. You helped me realize how good I am at hide and seek, even though it almost ended in a 911 call because you couldn't find me or hear me say our code word popsicle. In a way, it built our trust even more. But after that, I decided to pick easier hiding spots so I wouldn't scare you. You also taught me that Hershey Kisses are a must-have in life. It's important to have a bowl of them right on the table in the most convenient spot where you can grab one every single time you walk by. Somehow the bowl would always magically fill itself right to the rim so that no one would ever know how many you had. Well, unless you leave the wrappers everywhere like my sisters and I did. I bet there are still some wrappers from years past scattered all around the house. Now whenever I see a Hershey Kiss, I think of you. Poppy still keeps the bowl out on the table, always filled like you would keep it. Not only was I lucky enough to learn so many lessons from you before December, I have continued to learn more from you ever since. After losing you, it taught me that it's perfectly okay to cry and feel sad. It's a normal thing that happens to everyone, and there's no need to be ashamed. Losing you was one of the hardest things I have been through, and trying to hold in my everyday tears was not the easiest. But after many long days of missing you and crying on Mom's shoulder, I learned it's okay to let everything out, no matter how ugly your cry is. We're all human beings, and we all cry. It has taught me to live in the moment. Ever since starting high school, life has been so busy and has made me miss so much. I never realized how much I cherished our time together until you were gone. Life is short, and we all need to take advantage of those special moments. I hope you're proud of who I am and who I will become in the near future. I miss you and I love you lots. And remember, there's no such thing as too many Hershey Kisses. Thank you.
We have one more speaker before we're going to take a break. Our next speaker is senior Eloise Johnson. Eloise likes coffee a lot and hot chocolate sometimes. Tonight, Eloise shares with us my backpack.
In kindergarten, I had a little pink Dora backpack. In my backpack, I had a laminated collage that my mom made. She cut out little pictures of us and stuck them together with her phone number and my dad's, so I was never lost. In kindergarten, we had mean lunch ladies who had to open our milks for us. We had projectors and the old wooden playground. In 3rd grade, I co-wrote the taco song with your very own Grace Phelps and performed it in front of the entire class. We didn't care what they thought. We wore silly bands up to our elbows and sang about Lady Gaga and danced to Speak Now. We traded our snacks and ate the pre-Michelle Obama school lunches. 6th grade was when I grew away from my first best friend, but in turn I met my friends of today. 6th grade was the year our class almost caused a school-wide scandal because we were hungry for some drama. It was the year of car pants, book in a day, colorful Converse. I continued to read, encouraged infinitely by my teacher. In her eyes, reading was the most powerful tool you could have, and soon that became my view, and I drank in books as fast as I possibly could. I will forever be grateful for this mindset she instilled in me. 7th and 8th grade rolled around, and I got a new backpack. It was a gray and white polka-dotted JanSport, and I had 2 Harry Potter keychains on it. Middle school was the years of decorating lockers on your birthday, trapper keepers bursting with loose papers. It was fake babies crying in the hallway, a teacher who looked like Jesus, and no ceiling tiles in the bathrooms. We thought modified sports were the coolest thing in the world, and we learned that people could be mean. High school began. Freshman year feels like a fever dream. We went to Quebec and tasted the freedom that would only increase from here, and were itching to get on to bigger and better things. Maria discovered a balanced diet in second period geometry. We took an entire class focused on rocks, and I fell in love with swimming. We were back to the bottom of the food chain, freshmen. Next thing I know, we're sophomores. We lost a friend to the draw of the social ladder. We played piano in the band room, and I cried there too. It was a chemistry lab and an acid burn. School got harder, athletics became varsity, and soon there wasn't any time to sit and read. Our football team got progressively worse, and I finally quit lacrosse. We walked the halls during Spirit Week and saw the hot senior girl shirts and gossiped about what we wanted ours to look like. We were halfway done. Junior year rolled around, and I got a new backpack. My house key turned into a car key, and I went off to the middle of nowhere, Vermont for school. And contrary to popular belief, no, it was not horse camp or farm school, and yes, I took classes. But we hiked and explored the forests and the White Mountains during science, and I felt the best I ever have. My backpack was filled with books and poetry and notes about the world. It had a compass and an 1,100-page history book right next to each other. Life then was what I dreamed my life would be like. But I came home, and as all good things do, it came to an end. 2 months after my 17th birthday, the world came to a screeching halt. Everything was suspended in motion. Junior year was a really weird roller coaster of highs, really low lows, and an 8-hour online Kelp final. Senior year. A lot has changed this year. The only thing that I know to have stayed the same is my backpack. It's still black and has a patch on it and is full of a lot of weird things. Metal straws from when I brought coffee to school in a soup thermos because I was too tired after morning swim and couldn't function. A single playing card, the 6 of hearts, a yellow foam heart. A full set of multiplication fact cards, even though I learned those in 2nd grade. A pair of gold squiggly hoop earrings. Every single pencil inside is permanently borrowed from Susanna. My backpack has prepared me for a limited amount this year because most of my senior year was completed from my bedroom. But it held hair ties for socially distanced pickleball and less socially distanced floor hockey. It held a million drafts for college essays on a computer I could never remember to charge but always needed. I can tell you that out of everything inside, playing cards are the most used and that coffee is always the answer. I can tell you that even if the water gun will fit in your bag, it doesn't mean you should put it there. Wet notes mean no notes. I can tell you to be careful in a chemistry lab. Acid burns hurt, and if you can get a teacher to trust you with the location of a gas switch and baby bunnies, you're golden. I can tell you track and lacrosse aren't even allowed to look at the turf at the same time. I can tell you a lot more, but those stories aren't really appropriate for a school function. Through this chaos, I've learned one thing I know to be true. High school goes quickly, and at points it's like falling off of a cliff, slipping on ice, and running into a brick wall all at the same time. But at points it was like standing on top of the mountain and looking out over the world and feeling content. Life moves quickly. High school does too. Is that a blessing or a curse? I can't tell you that because I don't know yet. Thank you.
All right, folks, that's the first half of our presentation. Okay, we're going to take a brief break, get some water, get some snacks. You can use the restroom, and then we'll be back for our final 9 students. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our second half. To start off our second half, we have senior Juan Martello. Juan is graduating this year with plans to study nutrition. He is a Leo and he has a beautiful smile. Tonight, Juan thanks his mother.
Dear Mom, thank you. I wrote this not only to give you thanks, but for you to see the man that I have become with your guidance in my life and the impact having you in my life has made. I know that I cannot write the past 18 years in one letter, but however, I want to show you how thankful I am to have you with just a few words. The last 18 years of my life have been unforgettable, whether it was if you would wake me up to go to school, which for some reason you still have to do, or if it was because of all the arguments that I've had about the smallest things, I would not change a single bit. Because somehow there's always a lesson that I have learned. Like for example, just living in the moment with a smile on your face can be very powerful towards others. However, being on time, can be powerful towards others. Being on time or just being a good brother. These are small things that have made me who I am today. And having you by my side will always be my greatest memory in high school. After everything we've been through as a family, thank you will never be enough. However, right now, it will do until later in life I can show you my gratitude in a more special way. Mom, I am thankful to have you in my life, and without you and Dad in my life, my life would be completely different. For this, I will always be thankful. And Dad, you're not so bad yourself.
Now we come to Maddie White. Maddie is a skilled ghost story writer, loves apple juice with a passion, and is planning on becoming an elementary school teacher. Maddie is presenting first, last, and everything in between.
As I have gotten older, I have realized how true the saying, life is short, really is. Depending on the given day, a few hours can go by in just a blink of the eye. Soon I will be graduating and off to college. Sorry for the mini panic attack I just gave some of my classmates. I know it's coming up really fast. These important milestones have made me reflect on some of the other important firsts in my life. For instance, my first sleepover. Oh, what a mess it was. About 10 to 11 first graders, all disagreeing on what activity to do next, which of course made me extremely upset because I'd mapped out our very specific itinerary for the evening. My poor parents. Though at the time I was in tears, now I look at this first, the actual hilarious and happy memory that it is. Another pivotal first was my grandfather's passing. Death is a strange concept as a child, a subject hard to comprehend even as an adult. Though he was not the first relative that I had lost at this point, he was the first one to go at an age where I could actually understand the situation. One of those moments where you can still remember everything like it was just the other day. Sad, but not all firsts are happy. Life would not be life without its ups and downs, of course. Then we have the first relationship, freshman year. A learning curve, if I do say so myself. Of course, some firsts lead into others. This first was no different. The first kiss, you will risk giving your heart to. An important step in learning, evolving, and growing. The last first I will be sharing with you all today is one many of us share. The first time school shut down. The day we all found out was on Saturday, March 14th. I had taken my SAT and was planning on going to my friend's musical in Carthage with a few friends. Of course, at the time, we thought this would be a temporary thing, a little early spring break vacay. No one knew at the time that this would mark the last time we'd have a normal high school experience. In life, we go through these milestones. Our first steps, our first day of kindergarten, our first heartbreak, even our first friendship. Life has a sense of humor, however, and all those firsts can become lasts just as quickly. That is why life is so precious, because you could never have a first again. As senior year is coming to an end for my class of 2021, we will have a first and a last occurring simultaneously. We will have our first graduation, a celebration of our educational accomplishments. This first will also be a last on our childhood. Once those caps go flying in the air, life will hit us. Some will be going to college, to the military, to the workforce, or even to the unknown, searching for their next step. Off into the next chapter of our story, adulthood. So to my class, if this crazy pandemic experience has taught us anything at all, it should be to cherish these firsts, lasts, and everything in between. Thank you.
Third, we have Lucas Barney. Lucas is a senior, is great at using resources to get through high school. Shout out to Haley! Loves to socialize and will be attending Nazareth College in the fall. Lucas has for us his ode to the past, the present, and the future.
You go throughout so many years of school to get to that final year, senior year. Our senior year was nowhere near what we expected. No pep rallies, no homecoming, no sports games with friends, and only 3 people in my classes. This year is not what I pictured it to be, not even close. However, the excitement of being a senior and the new and thrilling things that are coming in the future keep me motivated. The past. 13 years of long school days, school breaks, new friends, and memories. These memories include walking to school on your first day of kindergarten and then your first day of high school. We set goals from the moment we walk into the school building. As those goals are achieved, new ones are set. Walking into kindergarten, my goal was to make friends. That goal was achieved. Walking into my first class in college, my goals are the same. I won't be waiting for my dad to pick me up. I won't have to tell my parents my schedule or even where I am going. Change can be scary, but it happens all the time, and this will not be the last time. The future is a lot like the past, but that depends on what parts of the past you remember. Leaving the past in the past is good, unless the good memories that keep you motivated. The future. Full of mystery and nerves. The future comes with so many questions. Will I be successful? Will I graduate college? And am I ready? That last question, my first thought is no. I'm still a kid learning what is right and what is wrong, but life and college approaching is telling me otherwise. You have to start your life and learn from your mistakes, take on new challenges, and meet new people. When I said the future brings on nerves, it brings on a lot of nerves. The present. Breezing through senior year, one of the best years of high school. That's what they say. But in reality, it is the opposite, at least from my point of view. So many assignments, tests, quizzes, and a lot of stress. All for it to come to an ending of sadness. The day of graduation will be one of the saddest days of my life. Not seeing my best friend every day in class or seeing the people I will not see outside of school. The past has so many memories, but the future has so many memories that need to be made. The future may be scary, exciting, nerve-wracking, and even thrilling, but it's also fun. The present is where we are living and need to live, taking each day as it is. Our lives do not stop now since high school is ending, but they are beginning.
Like Macklemore said, take risks, because life moves so fast. You're only young once, my loved one. This is your chance. Thank you.
Susanna Rainbolt is next. Susanna plans on majoring in anthropology in the fall, loves to travel, and she has a hidden talent for roasting her friends. Tonight, she has for us an original poem, What We Forgot.
Memorize this, but don't forget to be kind. Don't forget to have fun. High school goes by so quick. Make sure to remember to smile, to show up on time, to bring all your books. Write this essay, but don't text too much. Don't spend too much time inside with your books. Make sure to write down your assignments, birthdays, appointments. Oh, and go experience the world while you're at it. Take good notes, but don't take notes on what others do. Don't compare yourself, but still come out on top. Make sure to note who you want to be, what you should do, how you should speak. Enjoy the best days of your life, but don't fall behind in school. Don't forget your extracurriculars, sports, community service, family time, friends. Make sure you spend time with your friends. Go to events, apply to college, don't miss out. I think what we forgot was take care of yourself. Don't forget to take a break and breathe. Take life at a pace you can survive at. And maybe that's the best thing we can do. Thank you.
Next is Grace Phelps. Grace is a senior. She does not have a favorite color, but she does have a hidden talent for softball and is a devout T-Swift fan. Grace is thanking the many influential people in her life.
I've changed a lot since freshman year. It seems weird to me to look back on those memories because I can remember it like it was last week. 14-year-old me thought that was the epitome of who I would be. I can gladly say that I was wrong. I've changed because of the people in my life. These people positively influenced that young, naive girl and helped shape the slightly more confident young woman. Tonight, I'll be thanking them. Mom, thank you for letting me be upset. Whether it was telling you all of the drama that had gone on that day or crying over a boy, you always let me feel what I needed to feel. You may not have liked every boy I cried over, and looking back, I get it. It didn't matter how questionable my choices were because you were still there for me. Dad, thank you for understanding. When I was so anxious earlier this year about college, you helped me make a pro-con list even though I was terrified to make a decision. And when I did, you sat up with me while I freaked out about committing. I know I can always come to you. You've taught me how to ground myself and overcome the things that scare me. You've also taught me that it's okay to feel what I need to feel. You have no idea how much all of these things have meant to me. Owen, thank you for being my little brother. Even though you annoy me to wit's end some days, I'm glad that we get to be siblings, especially because that means I get to annoy you right back. I would want no one else to remember obscure games from our childhood with, or to bug anyone else by trying to get into a sport I have no understanding of. I seriously had no idea how Formula One racing works, and now I just pester you about the articles I read. I now know that we hate Haas and Mercedes, but that we can root for McLaren and Williams. Nobody else gets it, but I know you do. My grandpa, thank you for teaching me how to drive. The day I got my permit, he was so excited that he immediately took me out for a drive. When we came back, he kissed the ground. I'm proud to say that I've gotten a little better at driving, and it's definitely with help from him. He has also taught me pretty much every back road in Jefferson County, pointing out the houses he's responded to fires at along the way. I can now get back to Sackett's from almost anywhere, as long as he's in the car. My grandma, thank you for teaching me how to cook. I may have inherited my mother's sense of cooking, but you've tried hard to rid me of that. Together we have successfully made a cheesecake, potato salad, and countless chocolate chip cookies. I'm glad to know that you trust me enough to teach me how to make the superior chocolate chip cookies, no matter what Aunt Brenda thinks. Maddie. Thank you for letting me cry, scream, or just stay the night. For the first half of junior year, I practically lived at your house on the weekends. Your mom even came to expect me. We would spend an hour trying to decide what to eat until a Wendy's or Little Caesars commercial came on, and we immediately needed some, even at 11 at night. A couple weeks ago, we went to a lacrosse game, and we screamed Olivia Rodrigo's new song the entire way back from Indian River, after you screamed in my ears cheering the girls on. At prom, you hyped me up more than I ever could have expected, and I love you for this and everything else. There is no better way to spend high school than as your best friend and riding shotgun in your car. And to myself, thank you for never giving up. I know it was hard, and these past 4 years have gone by so fast and yet so slow at the same time. It's going to be scary leaving the comfort of the beige walls of Watertown High, but I know you're going to be okay. Some days will be better than others, and that's normal. Just keep going, and I know you'll thank yourself for it one day. I can promise you that. Thank you.
Katie Decker is our next presenter. Katie is loud, active, and outgoing. She completes more in a day than the average person does in a month and lives for her to-do lists. She has for us tonight, class, time for an icebreaker.
Perfectionist, right? Did we just say that? Class, time for an icebreaker. Please tell us one fact about yourself. 7-year-old Caitlin knows her response. Her many surgeries. A quick glance around the room after her practiced reply reveals the shocked young faces that killed her joy. The scar. I was born with a slightly pink nose, which, over the course of a few months, would grow into a big, bright, purple ball shaped like a clown nose. No wonder I had never liked the circus. A rapidly growing facial hemangioma led to over a dozen surgeries and a large scar with even deeper marks beneath the surface. Every day, the mirror reflects hardships from my early years. Concealer helps, but does not completely stop sideways glances or questions about what happened. I love to make new friends, but my nose is not an ideal conversation starter. Class, time for an icebreaker. Please tell us one fact about yourself. 13-year-old Caitlin is unsure. Middle school is hard for everyone, and she has the whole package. Glasses, braces, distorted body image, and a few extra inches in all the wrong places. And this time, there's something more. She pulls her hair over her ears and struggles for words. Always asking to have things repeated and having the television a little too loud, according to my mother, led to a visit to the nurse and the revelation of a new setback: hearing loss. I'm a loud person, and my friends and family are loud people. The irony of hearing loss was not lost on me. Maybe that's why it took so long for the deficiency to come to light. At the ripe old age of 13, I initially rejected the idea of hearing aids. Hearing aids were for old people. I could hear fine. However, when I tried them on, my world changed. Tears spilled to the floor as I heard my dad's voice, the machines in the next room, and the silence. It may sound crazy, but even the silence sounded different. Nevertheless, in the car on the way home, my insecurities came crashing down. What would people say? As a 3-sport athlete, I wore my hair in a high ponytail every day. Only my friends and family knew I had started wearing my hair down. What would people say?
How would I survive middle and high school as that girl? My music teachers were in the loop because my hearing impairment has a drastic impact on music. My main deficiency involves low frequencies, which make hearing the alto line or the bass notes difficult. Hearing aids helped make the sound louder, but it was more mechanical. When I mean louder, I meant louder, especially the bass drum in the back of the band sitting right behind me. It was in this back row that I found the best hack of all time. You turn the hearing aids off, they act as earplugs. Score! My main difficulty in music involved sight reading, which is a major part of the NISMA Solo Festival. I took this challenge head on, and after months of preparation on an all-state level solo, I got the text. I had gotten the 100. Hard work and repeated failure finally led to success. The same is true in sports. Performance is everything, and appearance means little if my efforts block a shot or score a point. Eventually, my braces came off, and my scar, while noticeable, began to blend into my normal skin tone. Others accepted my hearing loss. My friends showed their understanding by turning on subtitles for all of our Netflix marathons, and were also quick to deflect questions or comments. And to make jokes about it, but I did too, so it was okay. My coaches loved that my teammates always communicated very loudly, and overcoming physical difficulties became my mantra. Constant worry about imperfections plagued my youth. Today, I have learned I am not determined by my scar nor my hearing aids, but rather my determination to be the best person possible. I can overcome barriers. I can be myself. Sometimes, I may wish that I had some concealer or that my hearing aids were a little less visible, but for now, the makeup has been thrown away, and the high ponytail is back. Class, time for an icebreaker. Please tell us one fact about yourself. On her first day of college, 18-year-old Caitlin knows her response, and it has nothing to do with any physical impairment. Instead, she talks about her passion, determination, and future. I am a student, athlete, musician, ski instructor, and someday soon, I will be a doctor. Thank you.
Now we come to Vince Lavarnway. Vince loves long walks on the beach. He is a senior, and his dad's name is Mark. Also, I just wanted to add a congratulations to Vince on leading the varsity lacrosse team to a sectional victory last night over Whitesboro. Tonight, he is thanking his dad and his mom.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you. Thank you for everything you have done for me in the 18 years of my life. I am more than appreciated to have you two as parents. You guys have supported me through my whole life, and I cannot thank you enough. First, I'd like to thank my mom. Mom, thank you for being the superhero mom that you are. Thank you for always being there with your constant love and support. You have taught me so many life lessons by leading by example. You have taught me empathy and strength. You have shaped me into the person I am today. You have shown me how to treat others with kindness and respect. You have taught me to treat others the way you want to be treated. With only going to school 2 days a week, this last year has allowed us to become a lot closer, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. From our inside jokes to making fun of Dad, the constant joy and laughter you bring me will never go unnoticed. Secondly, I'd like to thank my dad. Dad, thank you for being my best friend and role model. You are my biggest supporter and fan, and I'm forever grateful for that. Thank you for always supporting me and being there in every aspect of my life. Thank you for teaching me how to be a well-rounded person. You have taught me many valuable life lessons. In your words, you have taught me how to chat people up or look someone in the eye and shake their hands. I could go on and on about these skills and lessons you have taught me. You are the definition of a cool dad, and the fact that all my friends tell me that they would rather hang out with my dad than me reflects that. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for being the best parents I could ever ask for. You guys mean the world to me, and I am blessed to have the best parents in the world. Thank you.
is senior David Gauss. David is by far the most interesting student I've had in quite some time. He will be attending Harvard University in the fall, also known as University at Buffalo. He told me to say this, by the way. And he believes his speech is far superior to Vince Lavarnway's. He ends tonight with, "Man, did I learn anything?"
Hello. Hello. Good evening. Not quite sure if the crowd will enjoy my speech more than Vince's. However, I am wearing a blazer and he is not, so really haven't beat on that front. Mrs. Chatterton approached me and my classmates about a month or so ago, discussing our final speech topics. Several students decided to choose the route of thank yous and new beginnings and other personal things. I decided to tell Mrs. Chatterton I wanted to do a self-reflection piece. I wanted to look back on my 4 years at Watertown High. I wanted to look back on the friendships that have grown, bonds I've created that will never be broken, relationships with teachers who I will always remember, and so many more things that I'll hold in my heart and mind for a lifetime. I was very excited to perform this speech in front of all of you here tonight. I enrolled myself into the public speaking course last spring and was able to experience and perform a few speeches, and we all know what happened to the entire world. I am speaking of COVID, if anyone was curious. So when this spring rolled around, I decided to give it another go. I was hopeful that normalcy would return and this event would occur. And it did, obviously. I am thrilled to be here tonight amongst teachers, family, and my peers. However, I was not so thrilled the first few weeks after I assigned myself the topic of self-reflection. The moment I exited Mrs. Chatterton's room that afternoon, I began to explore my mind a bit. I was looking back on my 4 years and was thinking about what I've absorbed and learned. My first thought was, man, did I learn anything? I've spent 4 years at this place and I couldn't think of one thing. When I tell you I couldn't think of one thing, I couldn't think of one thing. My mind was blank. I spent weeks with empty pages just attempting to write something down. I'm sure all of my teachers and my mother and father are thrilled to be hearing this come out of my mouth right now. But don't worry, I'm only half kidding. I started to slow my thinking down, as I usually do. I stopped thinking about what I only learned sitting behind a desk, and instead just sat back and thought of all the silly, fun, exciting, motivational, and life lesson moments that this school and the individuals in it have shown in talking. I remember freshman first day, when all of us about yay high, or Tristan about yay high, walked into what we thought was the biggest building imaginable. We remembered our middle school teachers yelling at us, repeatedly saying, "Your shenanigans won't fly over at the high school, just wait." They could not have been more wrong. From the day I entered this building to right here and now, I've had friends, teachers, and family members support me, teach me, encourage me, discipline me, laugh with and at me, and guide me. I'll always remember my math and science teachers and their facial expressions when they heard my answers and questions fly out of my mouth. Mrs. Lawrence, Mr. Morris, Mrs. Beasy, I am glad I could always keep your classes interesting, and also sorry if I gave you headaches. Definitely did. I'll always remember the sports teams I played on and the teammates I played alongside with. Coach Gentile, now Trooper Gentile, thank you for giving me a chance and a shot on the JV boys soccer team. Sophomore and freshman year. Thank you for allowing me to play, but mostly sit on the sidelines with my close friends, Juan and Vince being two of them. Thank you for not cutting me, even though I'm pretty sure you wanted to. I will continue to look back on my 4 years on the boys varsity swim team. Joining that team my freshman year has been one of the best possible decisions I've made in my life so far. I've spent 4 consecutive years on that team. I have encountered and developed several friendships and brotherhoods. I always remember the team dinners, the bus rides, and all the great times when opposing coaches would threaten to not invite our team back to their school the next year. Simon Stratton, Andrew Victoria, Nick Millette, Caleb Way, Brendan Eyestone, Nate Carlos, the list goes on and on with these guys. They were great friends, great teammates, and great people, and I truly cherish the moments I've spent with them in the pool. Coach Graben, who was the team's head coach, he's easily been my favorite coach I've ever had. I developed a close relationship with Graben these past few seasons, not just learning how to swim, and that was hard, but how to grow as a person, how to be a better person, and how to prepare myself for the real and ever-changing world. I looked up to him, and I hope to keep in touch. Thank you, Coach. I cannot leave this stage tonight without talking about a few people who have helped me along this 4-year journey inside these walls. I would like to first talk about Mrs. Sissel, who was my 10th grade English teacher, who taught me and guided me through my junior and senior year. Because of her, I'm the English writer I am today. I've succeeded inside the English classroom and on the English Regents because of her. And more importantly, I've become a better and higher educated person because of her kindness and her helpfulness. And I love her and thank her for that. Mrs. Wood. Mrs. Wood was my English 11 teacher, and she has also been my English 101 and 102 professor this year. She enhanced my writing and reading comprehension skills like no other. I was planning to make a few jokes discussing my relationship with Mrs. Wood tonight. However, when she got word of that, she was not happy. And I still have a few more days as her student, so I'll just leave it. And finally, Mrs. Chatterton. Over the past 2 years, Mrs. Chatterton has been an unordinary teacher. You can walk into a room on your worst day, and she's experienced me in a tude several times, but you walk out with a smile. She's the reason we're all here tonight. She is putting this event on and gathered us all here tonight. It's been a difficult school year to hold normal and annual events like this, to say the least. So thank you very, very much for that. And to anyone who I did not thank or mention individually tonight, know that I am thinking of you, and I do deeply and greatly thank you for everything you have done. There have been so many moments over the past years where I've learned a great deal of lessons, not just from the pages of a textbook. I've had my fair share of complaining about the school, especially over the past year. I'm sure others have as well. However, this place is special and has much more to offer than a standard education. Students and teachers from all different backgrounds across the community and all different beginnings coming together for 7 hours, 5 days a week, learning, laughing, complaining, procrastinating, sometimes and often fighting, and sharing our lives together for 4 years. To take a step back and think about the experience is truly something amazing. So to all my teachers, to all my friends, my family, thank you for an incredible 4 years. It was awesome. If I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't, and I couldn't. But it was a great memory with great people. So long, Watertown, and good night.
Okay. To complete our evening, we have a presentation that's really for the students, so parents, family, friends, you may not get all the jokes, but we are going to enjoy ourselves. So tonight, to finalize, we have a 5-star Division I football recruit, weighing in at 210 pounds and 6'1". Here is Ashton Matthews.
She wasn't lying about me being 6'1" either. When going to write this final speech, I was unsure of the direction I wanted to take. However, after realizing the struggle me and many of my classmates had, I figured what better way to celebrate them, or I figured what better way to send them off than by celebrating them. Alright, we're going to start off with Eloise Johnson. The only person that understood the movies I was talking about in class. Thank you. Alright, this is a quote from Maddie White. Pretty much every single day we had speeches. I don't know if it was just from my angle, but, and yeah, going off what Blank said. Hanley Landfield, always there when you needed somebody to laugh at your jokes. Susanna Rainbolt, I kind of think of her as like a mix of Indiana Jones and Steve Irwin, but with like a bombastic voice. Liv Ritz will probably blog about this final. Then she'll have some avocado toast and smoothie bowls. Alex Hanley, definitely going to be a future voice for those 3-hour-long ads that are like playing at 4 in the morning. Celeste Val, open-hearted, open-minded, speaks what she thinks what she speaks. Sophia Vos, the only person, just like me, that will be pursuing a career in midwifery. That's a real word, by the way. Katie Decker, the only thing she hits harder than the books are the slopes. Juan Martello, the only person that could compete with me for being the most last minute. Vincent Lavarnway, least likely to be on the phone with his eye doctor. Grace Phelps, class of 21 sassiest student. Maggie Butler, mastered the art of boiling water, putting noodles in it, and adding cheese. Nick Dalton, a chef with the skill of Gordon Ramsay but the attitude of a kind-hearted Tom Hanks. Lucas Barney, the less annoying version of James Gordon. Tristan Davis, talks to more people in books than real people. I'm unsure if that's a good thing or a bad one. Haley Hunt reminds me all the time how she wishes she had the same skill to be on the same level dancer as me. Trust me, Haley, you are not the first and you will definitely not be the last. David Gauss. D. Gauss is known for being sweet and harmless, unless you're on the other side of the chessboard. And that is our class. Thank you.
All right, I said for Ashton Matthews, up-and-coming comedian or masterful avoider of talking about himself at the final. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our presentations. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for these students. I'm so proud of all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you, for a wonderful year. Please remember to take a flower off the table. You each get to take one home, or more than one. Because I will kill them if they come to my house. And don't forget, students, you each have a meal to grab on your way out. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Take care.